we're delighted to bring you the world premiere screening of his film, Enemy. Surreal and mysterious, Enemy is a truly striking film, and it features a phenomenal cast. We have the great pleasure of having a number of guests with the film here with us tonight. So first, I'm going to invite...
Anyway, we will be there here to express to you why we need a therapy couple, everybody. No, seriously, thank you to be here. It's a massive privilege to show this film at Toronto Film Festival. This movie is also a love letter to Toronto. You will understand why as you look at the movie. Thank you for all my friends who participated in this movie. Thank you guys. Bon cinéma.
The father will be up here for Q&A afterwards, so stay.
Thank you, everybody. I feel very naked right now. So you have to notice that everybody has a mic but Jake. And it's normal. So maybe we can just sing Happy Birthday to Matt and not do any Q&A.
Okay, so I'm going to start things off with the first question, Denis. I really love your approach with this film, and of all of your feature films, I would say it's the most experimental. Can you talk a little bit about what the inspiration was behind making this film?
It's very simple. This movie is a documentary about Jake Gyllenhaal's subconscious. You have one, you can say 25 words.
I feel like it's very simple, but I think this movie is about Denis Villeneuve's subconscious. And his strange, repressed sexual appetite. And his strange obsession with spiders. And his obvious deep love of Toronto.
Okay, so let's take some questions from the audience. Right here? Yeah.
For Mr. Villeneuve, I was wondering, how was it balancing the two projects that you had at the festival at once, and they're both so different in scale?
Okay. So, Denis, what was it like balancing the two films that you have at the festivals here?
The thing is to do two movies.
The same but different, and I wondered if you have either one you liked better than the other, or you found more challenging to do?
Okay, so the question is for Jake. The two characters that you play are quite different. Did you prefer one of the characters?
You know, to me, I don't really think I don't think either of the characters are actually very different from the other, and that was the typical part personally, and for both. I mean, I speak for you when I say this, but finding the subtleties and the differences between the two people. I think that there's a tendency as an actor to want to make two. One of them wears a peacock outfit, and the other one, doesn't. But really, I think that there were just subtle mannerisms. I mean, what was fascinating to me was really acting technically with myself in the scenes where I act with myself. I mean, that was so fun because this movie consists of. It's not really a joke when one element really doesn't work without the other in this movie. I mean, we all work together. This is a strange amalgamation of all of our unconscious. Everybody who made this movie participated in the storytelling part of it and the character, and I feel like I literally felt like I was in Denis' mind, he was in mine, and Matt was in mine, and I was in his, and we were
Which is very weird.
And which is why the movie is so straightforward, and you can obviously understand exactly what it's about.
By the way, it's quite amazing that so far we have two questions from you guys, because I don't know how come you can come with questions about this. It's so obvious.
Yeah, but Q&A should just be A.
You have a question, Jake?
No, I mean, it seems to me that it's pretty clear that this this secret that this movie is about will be shared with only all of us in this theater. For the rest of our lives, we will share this.
Will it be amazing? It's something we share all together and you'll be the only one on earth.
I was at that screening! I was there!
That's it.
80 years from now.
Were you there?
And then we wake up.
It's just that
That's how it was.
we were naked for 1 hour and a half in front of you. That's why we are so nervous right now.
That's what it was
And
like.
thank you for Isabella because you were not that she was not aware of it.
Okay, let's get some more questions. If that's okay. Right over here.
One is for Isabella. You were always one of my favorite models when you were modeling for Lancome. So I'm wondering what the transition was from modeling to acting, and if you prefer one or the other.
Okay, so Isabella, can you talk about the transition from modeling to acting?
Acting. My family was in films, so the transition was, film, modeling, film. I don't know which one I prefer. Both. I did like modeling a lot. A lot of people think it is a lesser thing than acting, but I didn't. But I had a very privileged career working with Avedon, Penn, and Stephen myself, so maybe that...
With spiders. No, I think that the spider represents a number of different things. I mean, obviously this movie is about, in a lot of ways, as Denis said, and he said at the beginning of before the screenings, it is a journey through the unconscious, you know. And I think that there are a lot of things that affect us when we fall asleep at night, or we have our dreams, or even unconsciously we're walking through the world. And I think that those representations are all over. And I think that, you know, that's obviously one of them. And I think that it is very clear that the spider is me to Denis.
Hi, this is actually for Jake. How do you prepare for a scene, and what are your processes?
Okay, so the question is for you. How do you prepare for a scene, and what are your processes?
I mean, it definitely depends on the project, but to me, preparation for a scene is really preparation for an entire film. You know, I mean, I believe that freedom is on the other side of discipline. You know, and that the amount of time you put into something, for me, I don't consider myself necessarily the sharpest tool in the shed, so I need a lot of sharpening. You know. And that takes that's timely, and it's a little painstaking, and I believe that everything, once when this script came to me, from that moment until we start shooting and throughout that's my preparation. You know, in a weird way, it begins even before I've said yes or anything. You know, it begins. You know, it begins. You take everything in, and I think in a weird way that's what the movie is about. To me, it's what you take in. You take in everything, even when you're not aware of it, and that's what I believe about crafting a performance or doing anything that's artistic, is that it is all influence, our experience, our interactions, whatever it is, you know, whether we consciously caught a spider on the street and it had such a massive response inside of us or didn't, or whatever it represents, that's what it's all about. And so I believe really deeply on preparation, and preparation and preparation and more preparation. And then letting it all go and stop thinking and don't think you know anything, because if you do, you're fucked. Don't use that word. You're very, very in a bad place. Much in a bad place. Very much.
We don't swear.
Okay, back up there in the balcony.
So I noticed that there are multiple scenes in which Adam would wake up in bed. So can you say that it was all a dream?
Okay, so there's multiple scenes where Adam wakes up in bed. Is the film potentially all a dream?
No.
Right over there.
My favorite scene in the film was the scene with Isabella Rossellini, obviously. I mean, also in a number of ways in that she really represents in this film, even with really one scene, even if you hear her voice at the beginning of the whole thing, she represents there's this essential, obviously, the element of the mother that is very important. And so there was a lot of import on that day, and it was obviously amazing to work with her and to meet her and to be around her energy in every way. So everybody was very excited that day, and Denis finally woke up and actually started directing for the first time. So it was like a really, really special day. I'm sorry, what was the other question?
Did you like filming in Toronto?
Oh, yes. I mean, it was, naturally, I've said this before, but I think that it's inherently artistic city, and the emphasis on the arts is really impressive. And yes, it deserves an applause. And particularly being American, this was pretty much primarily all Canadian crew, and we really became a family. They did their best not to ostracize me. I did my best not to criticize them. We really got along. It's a perfect example for international relations that I think we should all really take on board and try and evolve into. But what I would say, really honestly, is that they were a family, and many of them were from Toronto and all over Canada, but many from Toronto, and they were an extraordinary crew, one of the best I've ever worked with, and so loving. Their hearts were open, and they allowed for great experimentation. And to me, in the rigidity of what making a movie is, and that it is really like moving an army all the time, and the people who arrange that movement and the people who participate in that movement, and the positivity, and the sort of drive of the people who are from Toronto and all Canadians was inspiring to me. So I just want to say I really appreciate and am honored both by the Spanish and the Canadians to have been a part of this production, and thank you.
That's bullshit. The truth is, the food was great, and we drank a lot, Jake and I became very fat. That's it.
True, there are some scenes that are starting at the beginning of the movie that were shot at the end where I was like, somebody's been in Toronto a few too many times.
Okay, so unfortunately that's all we have time for tonight.
But
So,
one thing I would like, just to finish, I apologize, I just want you to know that for me and for my friends, I think it was a massive privilege because we had so much freedom to do this movie. So I would like to thank Pate, UK, and E1 and Alliance at that time, and everybody that allowed us, Telefilm, Sadek, gave us the freedom to have fun making cinema. Thank you, Nick Richmond. Thank you very much.